Background. I got music going on.
I don't got nothing. What's up? What's going on? We here in the building, Philly Uncensored Sports Podcast, Eagles edition. Week 1 of the NFL season officially began when the Eagles played. I don't care about the Chiefs and the Lions or the team. Week 1 is officially underway
Exactly.
after the Eagles play or once the Eagles kick the ball off. There's a lot to happen in this game. I know. I think Wayne might be joining us. I don't know. He's having some problems with his computer or something, so hopefully he gets on. He was kind of tied up. I don't think he got to see much of the game. He'll tell y'all, his story when he get in. But Eagles got the victory, 25-20. Very close game in the clutch. It started out looking like it was going to be a rout early. I was hoping we could rest some players by the fourth quarter because we got to turn around and play again on Thursday. But nonetheless, we had to play the whole game. Bad conditions. It was raining. Patriots, well-coached team, very good coach, Bill Belichick. I know, like a lot of people don't like to give him the props that he deserves as a coach, but always had a team ready to play. They was ready to play. Made a game of it at the end. We won. What's your thoughts?
Was it more Belichick or more the Eagles? More Russ not playing hardly any? Did Jalen Hurts take a snap during preseason?
Nope.
Play calling. It's a lot we can talk about this game, man. What up, Ziggy? I thought the play calling was terrible.
What up, Zig?
The play when Jalen Hurts fumbled, why when you just slide, you can't risk yourself like that in game 1 of a 17 game schedule. Why are you putting your head down? You wasn't gonna get the first down anyway. It was first down. Just slide, take the 5-6 yards. Weather. It was a lot going on we could talk about, man. But the defense stepped up. I think if it was a better team, then we might have lost. We got fortunate. My man didn't drag his other foot going out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of drops they had. Ball bounced
Yeah, a lot
way.
of drops.
So
Yeah, a lot
ball
of drops.
bounced our way. So we was fortunate, man. We got to tighten all this stuff up. I know it's new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, but we got to tighten this thing up, man.
Oh yeah, Tim.
First of all, shout out to everybody that joined the pod. We're a little late, but I'm glad y'all here. Again, this is the first game of the regular season, but it all starts now. I'm a little disappointed. Not disappointed, but I expected a little bit more for the first game. But again, the weather conditions were terrible. N'Kobe Dean, he got injured already. He's not going to last a full season. They say he's walking around with a boot right now.
Oh my God!
So we're gonna miss TJ Edwards. I think he had a solid game with the Bears. I don't have a lot of points, but we're gonna miss that linebacker.
Linebackers ain't play well today either.
Say it again.
Linebackers didn't play well today either.
Yeah, they didn't. As I said, we're gonna miss TJ Edwards. But
go ahead, talk about that Hurts game. Go ahead. What you saying?
Oh, as far as Hurts though, Hurts didn't play well. But I think he'll rebound on Thursday night. We come. The good thing about it is a short week. He'll be back. But he didn't have a good game. But that offensive coordinator, Brian Johnson, this is your first game. He's a little too conservative for me. A little bit too conservative. I need something. Give me something different than our last coordinator. I need something. But overall, we got the win, so that's all that matters to me. We got that W. So right now, I'll take the W.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I could. There he is. I'm not a proponent of never playing in no preseason games. I don't like that. I think preseason games help shake a little rust off, so you don't have to do it in the regular season at the cost of possibly losing the game. Granted, we won, so I have no real hill to stand on that. But I still feel that every preseason you should play at least a couple drives. That's just me. I think, especially being that you have a new offensive coordinator, I'm sure some of the language and stuff is probably still the same as the past dude and all that kind of stuff like that. But still, that still being the case, it's still new to you. So I think you have to get some action in there in the preseason to help you get ready for the regular season. So I do think some of that was a factor. I think the bad weather was a factor. One thing I didn't like was I don't know what happened to Goddard. Like, where was he at in the whole game plan? And a couple times he was wide open. They zeroed in on it. I like Romo doing the games. I know a lot of people not Romo fan, but Romo is very educated. He's very up to date as regards a new person just leaving the game, and he calls a lot of stuff on the money. When you see a lot of stuff happen, he calls on the money. Got it open a couple times, and he didn't get it to him. He was open, wide open. He broke free
He
a couple
was.
times. Didn't get it to him. Could have made the easier pass. I know you tried to get it to your man AJ. I'm not mad at that, but Hurts
That's
didn't
on
play
Jalen.
exceptionally well.
That was on Jalen.
Even that pass he threw to Devontae Smith that was down the sideline where he was like double teamed and ended up getting broken up. If he'd have aired that to the back of the end zone, that was a touchdown. It was a touchdown. He underthrew that ball a little bit. So, I mean, there was some hiccups here and there, but we got the win. I do agree with Jamar Oliver. I think he said earlier the better team won. I do agree with that. But we got to tighten that up, and it's on a short week because we come right back Thursday. And we's going to be
Yeah.
on the pop. And I didn't even realize that until the game started that we was playing the Thursday game. That's why I'm like, all right, bet, let's build these jokers out and let's get some people to chill. And we didn't. So we
Yeah.
back at it.
And
Yeah, Hurts didn't play well.
Jamar, you're absolutely right too.
That was it week 1? You sure it's week 1 we played Detroit? Hurts didn't play
Last
well.
week.
Hurts didn't play well at all. He didn't see the field well today. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it is a new offense. But we got to tighten this up quickly. You know, you do have to get Goddard involved. He's a weapon. I don't know what was going on with the running game today. It started off good, then it just got totally.
Yeah, I didn't like that feature. Kenny Gainwell's not a feature back to me. I mean,
didn't it get
I know
Rashard
he
Penny?
was eating a little bit, but he kind of took us out of our whole offense. To me, you should have been running your regular routine, your regular offense.
Then we signed
He
a
didn't
running
play
back.
bad. I
Penny?
don't think he
Where's he at?
dressed. But Swift only got one carry. Ain't no way in the world Swift should only have gotten one carry in this game today.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I don't know why he didn't really get that much action. Gainwell actually did pretty decent early on. Huh? No, Swift got in the game, didn't he?
That's still there.
Yeah.
Huh?
It must be
Yeah,
you.
I'm still here. I think your internet's acting up.
Hurts did look average scenarios. Yeah, Swift. He's talking about Swift got one catch.
Yes.
Penny didn't dress, he said. So they only dressed the 3 running backs, I guess. Swift, Gainwell, and BS, Boston Scott.
Yeah, I ain't stressing that stuff too much, man. It was bad weather, and this is what you get when you don't ever play your starters during the preseason, and then you just figure you just gonna come on out there. Did Hurts run any sets at all with them in preseason games? I don't think he played any preseason games.
No,
right?
he ain't played no preseason. I was saying that too, Wayne, before you came on.
Yeah. So that's why I said, like, when we was asking, what we was thinking the schedule, like what the total wins and stuff was going to be. I do think that the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, but I know it's going to be certain games where you had dumb stuff happen like this. But to their credit, they won. they muscled through and they won it when they didn't look. And they did this in the beginning of last year too. Like, remember how I kept getting irritated because it was like the offense come out and then they score early, then it'd be like a couple, then all of a sudden they don't, and I kept harping on that, but they fixed it up by the end of the season. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. They are, the returning NFC champs. And it was, like I said, it's bad weather, and they ain't really had no flow going. So we'll see. But at least the defense made some big plays when it counted. The defense played pretty decent today.
I ain't comfortable with how Hurts looked today. I'm keep it real. I'm not comfortable with how he looked, man. I'm really not.
It was one game though.
I mean, do you think is this a regular?
Does
you think it's a letdown year for him?
Does the schedule get easier?
Oh no, this we got the toughest schedule, but at least we didn't have a tough. Think about it.
If we played the Giants or the Cowboys today, we'd have got our doors blown off.
That's all I say. But every year they say about how schedule's so strong and so weak. You always in the NFL, people think they got the toughest schedule. Then like half the teams they thought was going to be so good be trash, or sometimes half the teams that you thought was going to be trash is decent. Wasn't nobody expecting the Browns to beat the Bengals today. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
They
certain stuff
didn't expect the Browns to be trash though. They didn't expect the
they wasn't
Browns to be
expecting the
trash.
Browns to come out there and thrash the Bengals in game 1.
Nah,
Burrows
you
had
must have been
82
listening to the
yards
wrong. You must have been
passing
listening to them dudes
total.
that hate Watson.
No, I agree with Wayne though. I think the NFL is like that all the time. If you think somebody's gonna be good, they're not too good. NFL changes every year. That's why that's what probably makes the NFL probably one of the number one sports in America outside of the, just the hype of they did a great job just promoting the game and hyping it and all that. But one of the things is your team always seems to be in, at least up until week 3 or 4. Everybody's team could possibly be in it because if you make some changes, you get a couple right players, you can make a run. You get the right chemistry in the team. Football is a lot about chemistry. I mean, you don't definitely need players and all that kind of stuff like that, but a lot of it is chemistry as well. You get the right chemistry. Just like that year we won the Super Bowl, we wasn't the most talented team. I think
Right.
we just had a lot of chemistry. Everything flowed right. We had the right coaching staff, the right couple running backs here or there. I think we was destined to win. I don't care who was playing quarterback. Nick
Made a couple
Foles.
good pickups along the way.
Yeah, like it was just bound to happen for us, and it did. So. And we wasn't expected. I don't think nobody expected us to be a Super Bowl contender that year. So we ended up winning. So that's just the way NFL goes. So I agree with Wayne. The team every year is somebody different. Detroit might be, who knows? Detroit might be a breakthrough team this year. They might end up being one of the top tier teams and nobody didn't see coming really. So I mean, you never know, but. I mean, is our schedule on paper harder? Yeah, but we'll see. We play the Vikings. I don't trust the Vikings. I don't trust Cousins. Like a lot of them teams that be all Cousins in Minnesota. Cousins suspect. He's dying to throw the game away all the time. So, are we fair of Vikings like that? Like to me, the only team really that in the NFC just off of paper that I'll be really concerned about is the 49ers.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is waiting to throw the game away. Cousins waiting to throw the game away. The Giants maybe because Daniel Jones, but he very inconsistent. If he get on a roll, he could be hot because he can move and all that. But he's inconsistent. But they do have good weapons. They got Wilder tight end from the Raiders. They Saquon Barkley doing his thing. So Giants got talent enough to make some noise. But I don't trust nobody outside of San Fran because San Fran defense so crazy. And that's the only why I give them a lot of love. But
Hey, sexy scenarios. You saying you disagree about any Foles was a part of the chemistry. Foles was opportunistic. He came in at the right time. You know, he was fortunate with some of the weather conditions that we was able to play in. And he did his job though. Foles did do his job, but it wasn't like Foles. Put it this way: you seen Foles in other places. You seen Foles in other places. Foles is Foles. That's the same way. That's like saying what's his name? That's like the same thing as saying what was the boy that won with Tampa Bay that year? Trent Dilfer. I mean, but with the Ravens that year, Trent Dilfer. Like it wasn't just he just so happened to be the dude that was along for the ride with that team.
He still balled, yeah, I mean, he still had a good year. But look, the Eagles right now, they do got a stretch where they play Dallas, then they play Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, and Dallas again. That's a real tough stretch.
I mean, depending on how you think good Dallas is. I don't.
Well, they smoking the Giants right now, 19-0. So I mean,
you think
but
the Giants
teams got to play each other though. All these teams got to play each other.
How much you trust Daniel Jones? You trust him? Okay. How much you trust Dak Prescott, Mr. Interception King?
I don't know how much I trust Hurts right now.
Oh, Jalen good. Jalen good.
I don't know y'all throwing all these other. I don't know what Hurts do right now to make y'all trust him.
Listen, hey, my thing.
Let's give him respect for what he did last year, though.
Yeah,
you can't. And listen, as much as I was a detractor of Jalen Hurts, that's why I said when y'all was asking me, that's why I said I didn't want to be out there and be like, well, it's going. I didn't want to feel like if it was a bad start, like it was like we was done. I think our Eagles team is that good, and I think that if I think our defense is better, and I think our offense is at least just as good. So
I ain't like that D line tonight. I'll tell you that. I ain't like the pressure.
I thought the offensive line struggled to me.
The offensive line played well, maybe with the run blocking, but pass blocking, they gave Jalen time.
I don't think so. He didn't. I didn't see a lot of.
And it looked like they was getting some pressure on him a little bit toward the end.
I mean, they started bringing the house, but during the regular game, he had a lot of time.
No, who?
I did appreciate that the Eagles started bringing the house a little bit.
No, I don't think I was saying this while I was watching the game, even before Tony Romo brought it up. Matt Jones was getting that ball out of his hands. They was actually getting a nice amount of pressure with their front four almost every time. Matt Jones got that ball out of his hands fast. Matt Jones, he got the ball out of his hands very, very fast. They showed that his release time was like 2.5, 3 seconds top. The ball was leaving his hands. Anytime he held on to it, he got sacked. When we started getting him sacked in the fourth quarter, he got indecisive. He tried to run, and he got sacked. Our defensive line actually played really, really well tonight. I don't have no problems how we played the game. I think they set up a nice offense to get the ball in his hands to take away our pass rushers, and that's what they did. But any quarterback who tried to do a deeper drop and holding that ball, I'm telling you, it's going to be a nightmare. I think our line is still ready to go. I love our line.
You see Fletcher Cox, though,
let me address A real quick. A followed through for 400 yards against the Bill Belichick defense in the Super Bowl. But you know what they did in that Super Bowl? Bill Belichick set his best defensive back out the game. Do you remember that? Remember the boy, wasn't Malcolm Butler? Wasn't that the boy name? The boy that was a beast that year? And Bill Belichick took him out. So that helped a whole lot of that. So
no, it did. It did.
But it was set up. It was set that whole scenario, like Ephraim just said about. It was just that was their year.
Yeah, it was just. Bro, it was just chemistry. It was certain things falling into place. Even because you remember, people forget how bad Foles actually played or subpar he played in that Atlanta game. We had the bye week. We had the Atlanta game. We just beat Atlanta. What was the score of that Atlanta game? Like 20-14. It was some goofy score.
We needed Jalen. What's his name? The Green Goblin dude to come up with break up a pass at the end of the game.
At the end of the game on Julio Jones. That was a very close game. Then the Minnesota game, they broke out early. And then we just got the cooking. I think we got a defensive interception or something that game. It kind of sparked the whole. Yeah, got everything rolling. That was just a team that was just the chemistry was there. It was a team that was. But my point is that happens a lot of times. Every year you see a team, at least one or two or even more teams, kind of surprise you and come out of nowhere. So I do agree with Wayne's point about the schedule. When it looks could be tough, it is sometimes easier than it looks, or sometimes it's harder than it might look. You might think the joint is sweet, and then the teams actually end up being pretty good. So,
not to mention, Belichick had almost 5 months to game plan for this one particular game. So
did we.
But he's
Belichick. He's Belichick.
Is a 6-time world champion.
So did we.
No, he's
in the whole offseason. Belichick was like, I gotta beat the Eagles. The whole offseason, that was his whole mindset.
It wasn't. From here on out, every team gets 1 week to prepare. He had months to prepare.
So did we.
I agree with Tim. What you mean? So did we? So you think
had the same amount of time to prepare as Bill Belichick?
So you think Nick Sirianni on Belichick level when it comes to preparation and execution?
Don't try to make an excuse. He's trying to act like Bill had more time than everybody else.
No, he's saying he's
same
more
amount of time.
Bill has seen more and done more, and if you give him more, put it like this,
he ain't went nothing without Brady.
No, you feel you a master carpenter, right? You feel some young bull who just got into the game was given the same amount of time to build a house as you could build it better than you can.
Listen,
I'm just saying. He's a master at his craft. He's been coaching football for 30 years.
Listen, how long Sirianni been coaching?
2?
3.
Come on, I'm not even.
You talk about head coach. Listen, head coach, and you still coaching. He's still been coaching.
That's my point. Belichick been coaching defense. He's been coaching defense, offense. Wayla, he has the. If you give somebody who's more skilled more time, I feel they're gonna be better.
Well, I would agree with that, except for the fact that didn't the Eagles have a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator? So whatever he was planning on against the Eagles wasn't necessarily the same scheme that they've seen before.
He's playing against Jalen Hurts, though. He know what his tendencies.
He know what his weaknesses is. Is that what you gonna say? He know what his what is.
Wait, don't do that. Don't do that.
What do you mean? What is his weakness? Throwing in bad weather?
No. The thing is, Belichick. You know, Belichick is a 30-year veteran, seen everything. He probably do some things that Jalen didn't even recognize. He's like, yo, I ain't seen this play before. He had 5 months to prepare.
Jalen is a student of the game. He studies everything. So you don't think Jalen Hurts was looking over film, knowing they knew they was playing Bill Belichick, so they couldn't go and look at Bill Belichick
for years.
Guess what? They got more film on Bill Belichick than Bill Belichick got on them.
What I will say about Bill Belichick, he's one of the very few coaches that I've seen that's not stuck in his way. He don't get in his own way. He's very innovative. He was one of the first Bulls to reason why Chip Kelly started getting looked at by the NFL because he went to Oregon because he was watching Chip Kelly high speed offense and he brought him in and he's got him to walk him through how you run your high speed offense. And Bill Belichick in spurts would have Tom Brady run that high speed offense. He's very innovative and that's why I think he's relevant. Granted, he had a great quarterback in Tom Brady, but Tom Brady, in my opinion, also had a great coach. I think Bill Belichick is a very good coach.
Yeah, it's a wonderful thing when wise older men have no problem listening to what younger guys say and just take it with a grain of salt and see what you could do. That's what the good coaches do.
That's true. That's what good leaders do. I agree. I mean, sometimes that may be necessary to evolve and move forward, but that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying?
All right, moving on, because some people just like to hold on to power and don't want to let it go. But what I will say is that as far as Belichick, he has been shown to be a cheater, but he also is shown to be a guy, someone who's willing to make changes. And I do agree with that.
I agree with that, Abdul. I do. Well,
I agree too.
Cousins, I wouldn't call Cousins elite. He's above average. You think Cousins is average or above average? Kirk Cousins.
Regular season, he's above average.
Cousins, I would say he's hovering right above. He's hovering a hair above average.
That's what I'm about to say. Cousins is the definition of average. You have great quarterbacks. You have horrible quarterbacks, and then you have a dude like him who could be great and then could be horrible. So he's about when you talk about average, you talk about the median, the middle of the pack. Kirk Cousins is about the middle of the pack.
I agree with that.
I wouldn't say middle. I'm a little bit above, like 56%, 56, 60.
That's still about average.
Is Josh Allen elite? Somebody said Allen was elite.
The top 10 quarterbacks, the middle 10 quarterbacks, and the bottom 10 quarterbacks.
So
what is it, 32 teams elite?
Mahomes is elite. I agree. Rodgers is elite still, I guess. Josh Allen, is he elite?
Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen, he on that.
Josh Allen is he's up there. He's up in the top. He's better than Kirk Cousins. He's up in the top 10.
I definitely take him over Kirk Cousins.
Damn, is he elite?
Oh yeah.
Well, what do you consider elite? What makes somebody elite?
He said Mahomes. Is he in Mahomes and Rodgers category?
Rodgers
and Rodgers are their own category. I think Mahomes is his own category.
Rodgers ain't even in with Mahomes. Mahomes
and then you got Rodgers, Mahomes, then Rodgers and Hurts around the same area. And Hurts is off of what he's done.
Slow down. You said Aaron Rodgers and Hurts is around the same
right now.
Why wouldn't
coming into the season? I think he would have to.
Y'all tripping.
What did Aaron Rodgers do last year?
Hurts can't pass that ball like Aaron Rodgers, man.
We didn't say
you talking about just pure passer.
You didn't ask that.
Pure passer. We said quarterbacks, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because part of what makes Josh Allen so top tier is because he can run too.
Yeah, he got a better arm than Hurts too. He got a better arm than Hurts too.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying who's had better results.
Y'all do know that Stephon Diggs requested a trade this year in the offseason because he didn't want to play with Josh Allen anymore. He said because Josh Allen don't put in the work to become an elite quarterback.
Wow,
that's what his starting wide receiver, who gets the ball from him, said. They said they kind of patched things up toward the early in the season, not early in the season, but in the summertime. But he wanted to trade.
That's interesting.
Josh
very interesting. Yeah, I agree. My only thing with Hurts is his touchdown. My thing that separates Hurts and these other quarterbacks is his touchdown passes.
Listen.
But he ran 18. He had 18 rushing touchdowns. So bottom line is,
you got to equate that in. Listen, we already know it's well documented my discussions on Hurts and how I felt about his arm strength and everything else. And when I started to admit and say that he was good and very good is because his running is an elite type running where you got to respect it. You got to respect it on that type time. Like you had to respect. It's not the exact same type of running, but the same way you had to respect Michael Vick's running, the same way you had to respect Cam Newton running, all those dudes with Steve Young, those dudes that were mobile and like that. So it made you had to respect them. whereas though they could open up stuff with other stuff too. Now it just so happens Hurts don't have that same arm strength as some of them other guys. I agree, but he makes it work. He makes it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think to me, I don't know if I would say Josh Allen is elite. I do think he's right a hair above being elite, in my personal opinion. If you put him in the elite category, I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to argue tooth and nail about that.
So is Burrow better than? Is he better than Burrow?
I think they're on the same level. I think Burrow and Josh Allen kind of on the same level.
Josh Allen and Burrow.
Yeah, they're on the same level.
Yeah, I think they're the same level.
Are they both better than Jalen?
No,
right now,
on the same level.
Right now, I would say I would put him a little above Hurts.
No.
I think Burrow. I don't think that the Bengals had the line. If you talking about putting some of those guys in the same position that Jalen has an ideal position. Let's not act like he don't have one of the best offensive lines and one of the best receiving cores. Also,
so do they.
So do
who? Cincinnati got one of the best receiving cores out there.
How good is their offensive line?
I don't know.
Is their
and
offensive line?
And they got a good running back too.
But their offensive line is not that good.
And he got weapons like a mug.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they all got talent around them. Any quarterback who's going to be successful going to have some type of talent, either a good defense.
You think Josh Allen has the same talent that Hurts has around him?
Stephon Diggs.
Hurts might have a little better.
Name one person. Listen, for real.
I like they tight end too. They got a nice tight end.
Mahomes has nobody around him right now.
Okay, we're not comparing nobody to Mahomes.
No, I'm just saying.
You can't use Mahomes. You can't use
Mahomes on another level.
Talked about Mahomes on his own level.
He's on another level. We talking about Josh Allen.
I just think about how that boy kept dropping them passes on him. Like it make a world of difference if a ball can't catch a ball.
I would like to see Hurts throw for 30 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. Maybe that's not his game.
I agree. The Bengals offensive line is horrible.
I will say this. I do think Jalen's lack of arm strength hurts him from being a 35, 40 touchdown passing dude. I do. Because, for instance, that play that he threw that I talked about earlier before you came in, Wayne, you might not have saw the play, but he underthrew Devontae Smith. And, he underthrew Devontae Smith.
Oh.
If he would have aired it out to
sideline?
I
think I heard about it.
If he would have aired that out, to the back of the end zone, that was sick. That was an easy 6.
I mean, if it was 77 degrees, no wind, and everything else, he'd drop that right in there.
I mean, my thing is that
I just think he had a bad passing.
But what I will say is I think he has the intent. He has the intangibles to still be on that level by his leadership, by his scrambling ability, smart decision making. Somebody mentioned earlier. Normally, he don't turn the ball over that much. He was very safe with the ball last year into the Super Bowl. But normally he only threw 6 picks.
His last games.
He only threw 6 picks last year. Yeah, I mean 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So that's great for a quarterback who played all 16 games. So he plays smart football. He plays leadership football. So those intangibles can help you still win, which it did last year. Not the Super Bowl, but still got us there. You know what I mean? So that says a lot for for him. It's like any other player who realizes, okay, like Tom Brady. Tom Brady realized, okay, I can't run like these dudes, but I'm gonna pass the crap out the football. I'm gonna be a technician with this joint because I can't move. So Jalen he's the invert or the reverse of Bizarro Tom Brady. I might not be able to surgically pick you apart, but I could move the ball and keep the ball moving through smart decision.
Jeff Jordan.
Hold on. Let me address. Let me address this dude X-Men real quick, because you can't say Burrow's not elite, then throw out Hurts stats. When Burrow went to the Super Bowl in his second year, 2 years back to back, he went to the playoffs. But you want to say he not elite, but Hurts is. You using the same argument. You use the same argument to call Hurts elite, but then downplays what Joe Burrow did.
I think people forgot Burrow went to Super Bowl. I think a lot of people forgot.
I think so too.
It was Burrow in the second year.
That's a little bit too strong to say he's not elite, but I still would take Jalen Hurts over Burrow though. I would.
No, we know you would.
But I'm still. Hey, listen. Hey, X-Men, that's what we do. We're not nitpicking. We just being honest. See, I don't like when people say just because you got an opinion, you hating or you nitpicking. We just being honest about what some of his strengths and his weaknesses are. I'm sure his coaching staff is mentioning some of this stuff to him. He's probably tried to work on his arm strength by developing his throwing mechanics and maybe his tricep. Maybe his tricep. He do all the squatting, but maybe he need to do something.
Fine. He has a very good arm. Y'all trying to act like you got a rocket.
Maybe to work his tricep and his shoulder.
His arm.
You said who has a very good arm?
Jalen Hurts.
It's good. It's just not elite.
It's not very good like that.
It's very good.
And this is my. I said I don't want to say issue because, like I said, right now, who knows? Maybe he'll develop being a technician and everything else. And guys, I'm not overreacting. Like I said, to me, there's no big. You gonna have games like this. I don't think they won despite playing under what they can play. So I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? We got to win. Sometimes you got to win some ugly ones. I'm fine with that. It was ugly. Everything else, they was on the road. Patriots had Tom Brady in the building. Patriots had everything set up. It's like the Eagles went in there and smacked them on their homecoming, beat them on their homecoming. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly, exactly. So you can't sit there and say Burrow not elite, but Hurts is. So
here's where the coaching comes in, because this is a game that should have won a game for us, and he almost lost it for us. He knows that Jalen isn't sharp today, so for him to go for that fourth down play instead of just putting the ball, that wasn't too bright.
Why? Why don't you go with? So why don't you go with?
For it? You
go with your strength, right? Ain't that the way they want? See, you wanted them running the ball. You wanted them Monday morning quarterbacks. Listen,
it's not
bro.
Monday morning quarterback.
It is. Well, Sunday night quarterback. That's what you're doing, because if you look at it, that's how they won last year. So now you saying because it didn't work, you see the coach messed them up.
It's not.
They shouldn't have went for that. That
wasn't doing. He was going against. First of all, he was going up against Belichick. He was going against his defense. His quarterback wasn't his strongest.
Fascination for Belichick is a little bit disturbing right now.
No, because
that corner was all
you
over
don't give Belichick 6 months. He was going against Belichick.
Jalen wasn't having the best game passing. So to me, why would you do that in that particular situation? That's one moment where, even though that's what you normally would do, punt the ball. Your defense has been working for you. They've been a strong point up until that point.
If your quarterback is that Super Bowl caliber, MVP caliber quarterback, you don't take the ball out of that. You let your players play when it's that kind of situation, especially if that's what you're used to doing.
So you don't punt the ball. I think you should.
No, you live and die with what your strength is and what got you there.
I think
that wasn't no strength today, though.
I don't mind you going for it. I just didn't like the play call. If you're going to go for that, you're talking about the 4th and 3 when he passed and in the corner, like Ethan said, the corner was all over that slant play to Devontae Smith. All right.
It was a little bit pass interference they called on that.
It was, but that coverage to me, and I've seen teams do this. It was a zero. It looked like it was a zero blitz with no safety up top. So to me, if I'm coaching staff, most defenders are thinking you're going to try to go for the quick 4th down. 4th and 3, you're going to try to go for a slant. I'm faking the slant and send him on a go route. Just lofting it over his head. He walks into the end zone on that play because the corner was waiting for him. As soon as he broke, the corner jumped all over. You fake the slant, send him deep.
And
then the Saints did earlier today in that tight game earlier.
Seahawks,
oh, really?
Super Bowl? Wasn't that the Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl? Belichick did the same thing. And that's how they lost it.
Burrow, Hurts, Rodgers, and L. Who's L?
But guess who made that play?
What? No, wait. Malcolm Butler, the one that Belichick said against Nick Foles.
The one who got benched.
But listen, actually you're proving my point. Because why do everybody rip Pete Carroll for what he did? Because you got beast mode in the backfield. You got to get 1 yard. What you usually do is you hand him the rock and let him get it. But he went against what he usually does and went for that trickery and the quick pass, and it didn't work. So what I'm saying is,
go ahead.
You know good and well. Everybody know that. Everybody know Marshawn should have got that ball on that.
No, it was a nice interview on that though, about him talking about that play and how fast stuff be coming in and how they was kind of going to the next play. Like you kind of got in your mind what the next play is. We're kind of not regardless of what happens. But if that play wasn't as successful, you kind of got your next play going. But that's where sometimes you gotta go with the flow of the game and not kind of on the script, if you know what I'm saying. But stuff happens so fast.
Prime time beast mode. I'm handing beast mode,
on
that goal line.
No,
that should have been the script.
Post a comment.
Dylan.
Post round and third comment. Post round 22 passing touchdowns, and I kind of agree with that.
Listen, my thing but I was about to address that. Okay, but he had 18. He led that's a career for a quarterback. I mean, not a career. That's a history-breaking thing that he had. 22 rushing touchdowns for a quarterback. That's the most in history.
He said 18. He should. Your quarterback shouldn't have to have 18 rushing.
It don't matter. Your quarterback. It don't. How does that make sense? Your quarterback should have whatever.
Sense with your quarterback running the ball 18 times. That don't make sense.
Okay, that's like
Lamar Jackson one year had 36 passing touchdowns.
That's like people saying your point guard shouldn't score 30 points a game like Steph Curry. It don't. If you get the job done, you get the job done. Yeah, some people think no, your point guard should he should have 17 points and give you 11 assists. No, it don't matter. It's
because your quarterback
we went to the Super Bowl. It should have won.
Okay, your quarterback is the most important person on the field. He shouldn't be running the ball to get 18 touchdowns. He shouldn't.
Did we not go to? Okay, so when did we lose? We lost in the first round.
That's a lot of. Listen, you don't think that's a lot of pounding for your quarterback to take?
Most of the touchdowns he got was kind of like 5-yard runs. It wasn't like he was running up and down the field.
He getting hit every game like he did today when he fumbled the ball.
He didn't get hit that much today.
You see the hit he took when he fumbled the ball?
I said he didn't get hit that much today. He got hit like twice. He got sacked 2 times. He got hit 1 time. Most of the time he slid. I mean listen, you're going to get hit. He
slid a little more this year. Last year he wasn't sliding as much.
My thing is
more this year. You gotta be careful.
Whatever helps you
the ball that much.
Whatever helps
you. Get paid too much. He's too important.
Whatever helps you win the game, you win the game. He's a winner. My thing is I don't think nobody's elite outside of Mahomes. Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers was elite. I don't even think Aaron Rodgers is elite right now. I gotta see him.
I gotta see him this year.
He's still celebrating 12 years ago, he won a Super Bowl. He's still getting all this love.
It ain't just about the Super Bowl is why they celebrate him. They celebrate him because he actually is always up in the runnings and always up in the top in passing.
That is 26-0.
And
listen,
still,
I'm not putting Josh Allen elite. I'm not putting Burrow elite. I'm not putting Jalen Hurts elite. I think they're very good quarterbacks right now who can break through to that elite level. The only really legitimate elite quarterback in the league, in my opinion, is Patrick Mahomes. Elite to me is another level. That word holds some weight in my opinion. But
he may not be elite.
I mean, he is the best of the best.
Winner. He's a winner.
He is. He's a winner. Absolutely, Jalen's a winner.
That Jalen Hurts played all those years in college and only lost 5 games. He wins when he plays.
He also got benched. He also got benched in the championship game.
And he moved on and won games. He got benched in the title game. That's it. And when he came back the next year, when they went with Tua, he filled in for Tua and won games. And then he left there and he won more games. Runner up for the Heisman. So don't act like the man.
Okay, but and we're not saying that he's not a good quarterback. But again, it goes down to, and this is the argument I've always made with him: his arm is not an elite arm. And my only thing with quarterbacks like that, when them legs go, what you going to do? See, with Mike Vick had all that running and everything else, but Mike Vick had a cannon arm. He just had everybody help him to use that in his youth, and it was the same thing with Randall. Randall ran, but Randall had a rocket for an arm. Like most of these dudes still got like Cam Newton had a big arm. So even if they start getting to the point where they can't run, but right now, Jalen Hurts, the way that he's running the ball and orchestrating the offense and stuff, and listen, he's still good enough for us to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. But
not
that being
like
said, when you're talking about the long term, everybody's allowed to have some kind of down. But every once in a while he throws one of these in though. Every once in a while he has a game like this, and then he has games where he balls out.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm comfortable with Jalen. I'm not Ethan waiting. Ethan like sitting on the side of the bandwagon waiting to jump on and off as it rides.
Exactly. That's the thing.
I'm comfortable with where Jalen is.
I'm a realist. I gotta judge you from game to game. That's all I got.
You judge him from play to play.
What else are you gonna judge him on?
You do judge him play to play.
You only as good as your last game.
Yeah.
So
his
Pat
last
Mahomes
game,
trash?
his last
So
game
wait,
before this game was elite.
So then Pat Mahomes, by that standard, Pat Mahomes not elite because his last game ain't look all that hot.
We talking about Jalen Hurts.
I'm
No,
just saying,
did you watch the game when they dropped? Hold on. Mahomes receivers killed him. Don't even start
I
that.
saw it. It was the one boy.
So they ain't had nothing to do with Mahomes.
Boy dropping the ball.
They had more drops than any. They might have more drops probably in the first week than every wide receiver in the NFL this season. I mean, his first week.
That was crazy.
That dude deleted his whole internet. He's in a hole. He's in a sunken place.
He did a whole internet scrub. He scrubs all his old.
He in a sunken place right now.
Is that game on Thursday? Is it home or is it away?
It's our first home game, I think, right?
Oh, we do play home.
Let me look.
Which we call Matt Jones had a lot of drops today too. Them boys dropped. He had about 5 drops today.
He had about a lot of horrible weather out
there. We home,
y'all. Was it raining everywhere today?
Yeah, we're all but down the East Coast. It's raining that Dallas game. That Dallas New York game is raining. Oh, good. We need that home game. All right, before we get up out of here, the biggest football story right now of the year is Deion Sanders in Colorado handling his business. What y'all thoughts on it? Because I don't know if I sent y'all to Matt Whitlock, Tim Bull, not Matt. What's his name?
He's a hater.
Whitlock, Jason Whitlock. I sent y'all the video of Jason Whitlock. He's saying that Deion Sanders is arrogant and his arrogance ain't going to last. And that's what he don't like about Deion's arrogance, how he comes to the game. What's y'all thoughts on that?
Hold on. Can I ask y'all something real quick? Did you see that last comment where it says Hurts works hard and wants to be better? I don't care how hard you work. It's still only a certain level you'll reach.
It's a ceiling. You have a ceiling.
Yeah.
Like he ain't nowhere near his ceiling.
You don't think so?
Nope.
No.
Where do you see him getting better? Where do you see him getting? Where do you see him improving?
Decision making. You can always make better
decision making was pretty good. His decision making is pretty good.
No, he missed a couple throws. Sometimes he missed some open receivers. He had Dallas
today, or are you talking about just in general?
I'm talking about today and in general. Today, he
kind of reverted back to his old habits of cutting off half the field and just playing off on one side of the field. He rolling out to his right. He did that a few times a day, and so that's
he did that all last year.
He didn't do it all last year. He did the year before last.
We talked about that before. All he does is roll to his right. That irritates me.
No, I disagree with that. But I do believe that he I don't see a ceiling with him right now.
I agree with Ziggy. I think it's still in his MVP. I think he can grow more. But what y'all think about the we gonna have all year to talk about Jalen because
his ceiling ain't gonna be MVP as long as the sideshow Bob dude is out there in Kansas City slinging the rock around. Hurts not getting no MVP.
They about to go down anyway.
You should have got last year.
All right, as far as Deion goes in the Buffaloes, I'm conflicted. First of all, shout out to Deion, shout out to Shador and all the rest of them, Travis Hunter, all of them. They all out there balling. He left the HBCU, and the money. You know how much money they made that he's making for that Colorado right now. You could have bought a ticket last year for $30 and got in the game. Now those tickets are on average selling for $400. So they paying him $30 million for 5 years. They made $100 million just off of tickets off of that one game.
So what the HBCU got to do with it?
What I'm saying is, if he stayed in Jackson State,
he stayed there and brought them money, and they kept the money in their pockets. That was his whole issue. They didn't make better stadiums. They didn't put money into the program. They pocketed it. And I'm all for our people.
Let me finish though. That's what I'm saying. Them black gatekeepers. Again, these gatekeepers are always in the way. With these gatekeepers right now, sitting there chilling, they had a diamond in their hand. Instead of paying him, getting money for him, making the necessary changes, they forced him to leave and go to Colorado. And then they said, Deion, do whatever you want because we paying you $30 million, but you making us $500 million. It's all about making the changes and falling. So I'm not just mad at him for leaving. I'm mad at the gatekeepers for making him leave.
Listen, this is what you gotta understand, right? Them big colleges have been getting money for years, right? They've been getting money for years. It's different when you have a small school that just got money. You know what I mean? It's like it is different. It's like just getting money. It's like when the NFL players just get money. Hold on. It's still same. You still own a business.
It's called when you get the money.
No,
hold on.
Reinvest.
Let me get my point across. Can I get my point across?
Because you're not.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Right,
even when you own a business and your business start getting money, you're not going to make all the smart decisions you're going to make in the world. You know what I mean? You just started getting, the college just started getting money. Let them build a little money first. You know what I mean?
No,
you can't just expect nobody that just gets money to go.
You saying just get money, but they've been getting money and not putting it into the program.
They ain't been getting that type of money. They ain't been getting that type of money.
Okay, what type of money? But they weren't putting any money into the program. If you want to build that program up, then you put money into the program.
You act like it's just a couple of hours to put money to build these stadiums and get these new. You act like that's chump change.
Well, they had money. No, ain't nobody talking about stadiums. He's talking about workout facilities. Shouldn't know if
you act like that's cheap.
You got some high schools out here with better workout facilities than them colleges got. Go to the suburbs, go out there, Upper Dublin, and stuff like that.
Them high schools been getting money for years. Them high schools been getting money for years. You know how much
colleges.
Bro, you know how much them taxes are if you move out in media? You probably paying $10,000-$12,000 a year in tax.
You know how much tuition is?
But I kind of agree with Ethan a little bit. Sometimes it do take it's kind of like, and Tim, you always say this yourself when it comes to supporting black business. If they disappoint you the first couple times, don't just not go back no more. You got to give them a chance to get better. This is what you always say. So the same thing can be said when it comes to Deion. You got to give him a chance to grow, develop, and really put. It takes time. It takes time to even and it's sometimes, to be honest with you, it takes time to change culture. That mindset of, like Ethan said, we getting money now, so I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know if they pocket it. I don't know if they divvying out as they see fit. I'm not sure of all the financial dynamics, so I don't know, so I won't speak on that with authority. But sometimes it does take time to change the culture of thinking. Them gatekeepers, Tim talking about, them older men who may be set in their ways and not even used to getting that type of money flowing in. They're not used to that type of change. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it takes a little time to overcome that stale cement-like thinking. So Deion could have legitimately gave him another 5 years and said, you know what, I'm going to really invest. This 5 years, go hard. And I'm telling y'all now, this is what I want to see done in that time frame. And if not, then I have to move on either to another HBCU. Now, listen, and be clear about this. That's not the only HBCU in the world. So he's saying every HBCU he's going to go to, they're going to act like that? I don't know. So why?
You know what else? Go ahead.
We do at a certain point. Black people, if you want to take your business in your own hands, you do at a certain point have to invest in your people and stop saying, all right, well, they bad over here. It's like we always talk about, if you have a bad argument with a contractor, a black contractor, you're like, oh, I ain't gonna use no more black. I gotta go to the white boys now because the black contractor. No, you can still go to another black contractor. He could have went to another HBCU. He ain't had to go to Colorado.
And this is where the difference is to me. And this is where the difference is. Because the other HBCU, wasn't they the ones talking about some Deion ain't swag? Remember that? This was other HBCUs.
It was a couple Geechee boys.
One guy.
Okay, but they did have a feel. No, if you go back and look, it was a few of those teams that felt some kind of way about him because he was flamboyant. Like you said, you know how these gatekeepers be, and they were like, how dare he come in here with this brash attitude, talking and pomp and parading all around. They was hating on it.
But the other colleges, you think them D1 colleges saying the same thing?
But you know what? But that's okay because no matter what, they're looking for Deion to be they still looking for him to fail no matter what. So if he would have stayed there and all of a sudden his team wasn't as good no more because they wasn't getting all this other stuff, then they would say, see, Deion ain't no good. So instead, he says, I'm going to go to this D1 school that's going to give me all the resources and I'm going to show him what I can do, that it does work even on a bigger scale. Who knows? Maybe he'll go back to maybe he'll pull a LeBron and go back to HBCU after
this is what's upsetting about us because he's making, again, in the next 3 years, that team is going to make a $500 billion just off of him and developing that program.
Billion or million?
Billion. No, it's about $500 million. It's going to be close to $1 billion, easy, with all the merchandise. And what's going to happen is with all that money, that you know what that does? That gives you a new stem cell building. That gives you new science building. That gives you new medical building where you can teach thousands of doctors. And the HBCU.
Not if the school board putting it in their pocket.
No, but they not really. They can't put it in. They only get a solid. But instead of putting that money into black doctors in Jackson State, now it's going into another program that's going to be helping other people, and it's like off the talent of these men. And that's
Well, guess
that's
what? You know who else? You know who else should have been helping Jackson State? All the black alumni, the black doctors you talking about. Where was they? Where was they with their
200%.
money?
I 100% agree.
Because that's why Colorado and them get that stuff like that, because their alumni come back and make sure they support and get that money.
Alumni boosters, all of them, the whole nine. But to take it back, to put it back on the field though, as far as the players,
what's up?
They got some nice skilled players out there. They do got a lot of nice skilled players right now. What's going to take this program to the next level is when they get them offensive linemen or defensive linemen, like they got the Georgia Bulldogs and everybody. When they come in there, they start blocking, winning in the trenches. You're gonna have a top 5 school right away.
I think, but I like the Matlock video because he's talking about Deion's. He's saying he's over cocky, over arrogant. I think Deion do have I call it's called a confidence. Now he does have a level of confidence, but sometimes a lot of people, when they see that, they feel you arrogant and they waiting for you to fail.
They want you to be a nice Sambo, like, yes, sir. We appreciate. They want you to be humble. We appreciate this opportunity you're giving us. Yes, master. They like that kind of black man. They love it. When you
mean like the Pittsburgh Steelers coach? You talking about like the Pittsburgh Steelers coach?
You bucking your eyes like, woo. They like that kind of stuff.
Listen, I've been saying this about Deion. I don't think people know, especially some other people, and even some of our own, know how to take a confident black man, a black man who's very confident about what he does. And some people are just realize either they're calling their gifts, dare I say, in life, and they're very confident with the gifts that they have, and they don't. I'm not going to say that they don't know how to cover it up, but he's just speaking his truth, as they say. He's just being real to who he is. He's confident in himself. He's confident in his players. And sometimes it just comes off to some people as braggadocious. That comes off to some people as arrogant. But in the reality of it all, he's just very confident. I mean,
ain't nothing wrong with it.
But you know what, though?
Bad thing?
But this my thing.
I don't think Tom is the same boat either.
This is my other thing. I forget what's you might want to listen when he start discussing certain stuff. He one of them boys, like, this is a privilege in the he one of them boys. Tomlin is one of them types. But but my thing is, when it comes to Deion and his braggadocious ways or his swag, my thing is that's what makes him him. See, that it's kind of like this, right? You know how where a girl might see a dude and she be like, dang, he masculine, he manly, everything else, and then she try to get with him, and then it's like, you too mean. I need you to change a bit. That's what made him what attracted you to him. That's what made Deion the player that he is. That swag, that attitude, all that stuff is what drove him to be the great that he was. So now you're mad because he still has that, and he's like, this is me. This is what worked for me. This is what has helped me to get to benefit and to prosper. And now I'm helping young black men prosper, because no matter what you're saying about, I don't care, white, black, school, everything else, but he brought all these young black men with him to benefit off of this D1 big time school too.
I'm not saying he did, but
his son.
That money is building programs. That's going to build.
And that money for Deion is taking care of his family, generations.
And that's a selfish attitude. If you just think about,
you do know Deion took his own money when in Jackson State. Deion took his own money and put his own money into the program while they was taking money and putting it in their pockets.
It's not. I'm not even blaming Deion. I keep saying it's the gatekeepers.
What up,
I'm blaming those gatekeepers.
Listen, Boozilla, I agree with you. Everybody, this is what I'm saying. Like, everybody's different. Like, out in that interview or in that panel with Whitlock, it was Seth Joyner, Brett Favre. I don't know how he ended up on the panel. And right. it was somebody. Oh, Warren Sapp, and Seth Joyner said, "I've never met." A lot
of teeth showing in eyes bucking in that.
He said Seth Joyner said, "I've never met somebody as so confident as Deion." He said he's overconfident. He said he might be the most confident athlete I ever met.
Because he said
overconfident.
Huh?
He said overconfident.
Yeah, he said even he called him over, like he like not in a negative way, but just saying he's he's more confident than anybody I ever seen.
And
Like
what's the
he when
problem
he
with
like
that?
when he no he's not he wasn't saying as a negative. He was saying as a positive. That's what he was
Tim,
saying.
calm down.
He was saying he's just
And what's the
different.
problem
Like
with that?
nothing at all.
No, I just said it twice because Ethan told me calm down. Go ahead.
I don't think I agree with Buzilla. Sometimes people are just different. Sometimes people are just special. Sometimes you got a person like LeBron James, who's just born just gifted. He's sick. You can't make yourself 6'8", 260 pounds and jump like a deer. You can't.
Tomlin is.
Some of that.
I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Some of that swag or that confidence that Deion got, I could guarantee you Deion was probably always that as a little kid. But that doesn't mean to me, like I said, he even when he was playing, a lot of it was confidence. Some of it might have been arrogance, but I don't think as you grow, you change. I thought Seth Jordan used a great analogy. The first time I ever heard it. He said that a leopard don't change his spots, but he does shed several times throughout his lifetime. So sometimes you can mature and grow as a person. And now he's not an arrogant man, but he's a confident man. And that's a beautiful thing to see a confident man run the program and breathing confidence into his young players. He got them dudes playing above their level just because they got it's different when you hear a confident man tell you could do something, who looks like you, who talks like you, who knows you, who look like he could be your dad. He looked like Daddy Deion to all them bulls. That's special.
He called some of them his son, and that's what I said.
Special.
Deion has one on every.
I
level.
agree, MOTC. He said Deion make you want to play for him. I agree. I would love to play for somebody like that.
And that's why they jealous of him. It's a lot of it had to do with jealousy, including Jason Whitlock. Jason Whitlock about 400 pounds, and he has never been able to probably get anything the level of success that Deion has. And he wants him to be all meek and mild and submissive and just be real thankful for everything he's got. When he's the reason why college football right now is the hottest thing right now. It's hot. Everybody's talking about they got college football game day, ESPN and Fox Sports. They all are broadcasting live with the Colorado State game this weekend. They all down there. Colorado won one game last year. That's all they won. And then everybody is on that tip. They think about they get their top 15, top 20 team.
Yeah, I agree. And Buzilla, I agree with you too with Tomlin. I know we jumping back and forth between Tomlin and Deion. I'm not going on record to say Tomlin is a Sambo like Wayne is, but his opinions. I never really heard him speak too much on his opinions outside of football, but sometimes people do have that mentality of football is like Wayne was saying, like it's a privilege. You should be thankful, almost like thankful to play this game. Everybody's opinion may differ on that. Like I just because he says that, I'm not going to deem him a Sambo because he feels it's kind of a privileged thing to play in the NFL and not really because you're talented. Because the reason why you're there is not they're not giving you nothing. You're there because you're talented. To be honest with you, so to act like they're like the league is giving you a handout. Like, man, you privileged to be in this position because they appreciate you as a person so much. No, that's not it. They appreciate that you bring skill to the game. But just because he feels like that, I'm not going on a limb and call him a Sambo. I wouldn't say that.
I just said he buck his eyes a little bit, Sometimes he
I agree with you.
It's the reason why he had his job so long. Ain't too many black quarterbacks gonna be around that long.
He wins though.
No,
he's a motivator.
He wins. He got Super Bowl.
Last time he won.
I like Tomlin. I full with Tomlin.
He inherited a Super Bowl team.
His team's it's only one team that won a Super Bowl. His teams is always in contention on most of the years.
They are. I agree with that. He's one of the best coaches in the league. He's one of the best coaches in the league. He's a no nonsense type of dude. He tell you the way it is. Yeah, he's one of the best coaches. In the
For some reason, even when you say the best coaches, his name don't come up a lot, but he is one.
I agree. Tomlin, that dude.
Tomlin is like Doc Rivers. They win a lot of games, but they not really strategic as far as
not like Doc Rivers. Don't even compare him to Doc Rivers.
I think they're on the same level.
No, you know what? But talking about Deion real quick. See, this is why I don't have a problem with him. People just mad because Deion rubbed their face back in the trash they threw out there. Because Deion said because he comes out It's not like Deion don't. You know how when somebody talking trash, you be like, talk it when you ain't win. Talk it in the beginning. Don't talk it now after you won. Deion talking before he win. So now, and guess what? If he lose, he gonna have to eat that. You know what I'm saying? But that he's that confident in himself and that confident in his players, and he instills that confidence in his players to make them play at that level for him. That's like they sitting up there talking about the young boy that played both sides of the ball. Oh, you can't do that in football. Most players always used to play both sides of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of guys that if you have the skill set to do so, especially at that age, you young, what else he doing? Like, come on, bro. Like, and it ain't like he in the trenches playing offensive line and defensive line. You know what I'm saying? The whole game.
Remember Troy Brown did that in the NFL for the Patriots. He played cornerback and he played wide receiver. So
he played both sides. He played wide receiver and cornerback.
But we are talking about a violent sport where it's 100% injuries. For a long season, he played like 70, 80 snaps that first game. That's a lot. It's a lot.
I think it was like 100 something.
Yeah, the snaps. It's a lot. So he still wants to make it to the NFL.
And he still was around dancing after it was over. He was dancing on him. He danced on him on the field and then dancing afterwards.
It's only take one play.
Exactly. So it don't matter how many snaps you do, it take one play. You can play one play.
So you don't think the more snaps? You don't think the more snaps is the higher risk of getting injured?
That's with anything.
I mean, that's true. I mean,
what? Don't play the sport. It can happen. No. You got some dudes that can play years and ain't get hurt, and then you got some dudes that play like 2 years and get hurt every year.
Wayne, just because it's Deion don't mean every decision he make gonna be right. I don't think every decision. But I do. I kind of agree with Ethan. You still want to be reasonable with how you approach using a player. I mean, I don't mind seeing somebody play offensive defense. Like I said, Troy Brown did it, was great and effective, and Patriots won a Super Bowl with him playing like that. He played offensive defense against us in that Super Bowl. But it is wisdom on the coach's part to make sure that you don't put a player in a position to get injured and possibly ruin his future.
How much did they win by?
That was 3 points. TCU
they won by 3 points to a ranked team, right? So they beat the ranked team by 3 points. So imagine if you didn't have your one of your best players, you had him on both sides of the ball, and you barely won. So what? So hold him back and don't play him and then don't win?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't do it. I do agree. I mean, how much you want to do that going forward? Yeah, you do got to be balanced with that attack.
Yeah,
and it ain't about. I mean, at a certain point, are you going to sacrifice your winning and your ego for this player's career, for his life? Again, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you got to be balanced with.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why he chose to go with Deion, because Deion promised him that he would let him be a two-way player, because a lot of teams won't let you be a two-way player, but he got that promise from Deion. But again, I think Deion may want to scale it back. He don't got to be on every possession on offense. I know his specialty is defense, so I would make that his main focus.
X-Man is confidence because everybody was ripping Deion and talking about how he was going to get smacked up by the ranked TCU because they ranked such and such, and they was going to handle Deion and everything else. Then he came with receipts after he won, and they ain't like it. But they was all sitting up there talking about he was about to get worked. They was about to get worked by a ranked team, and he beat them.
Did his thing. Yeah, I did see that earlier too. That the Dobbins tore his ACL. I think it was. They said either ACL or Achilles. I think it was ACL. Yeah, that's messed up though, man. That's messed up.
That's a dude. What's that? A pro player or somebody that was playing both ways?
Yeah, the running back. Ravens.
Did he play both ways?
Here we go. Yeah.
How many games he played this year?
He played both ways. Yeah, he played safety. He played running back. Yeah, he played safety.
He played injured. By the way, playing 100 snaps is still a lot of wear and tear on your body.
Not if you ain't getting hit like that. It ain't.
No, it is. That's a lot.
You're just running and cutting. You don't gotta get hit. Most of them injuries be non-contact. Tearing your Achilles and blowing your knee out is all non-contact. Ain't got nothing to do with training.
Why you worried about boys running and jumping, huh?
I mean, I think
make them pay. Got on the mindset we got bubble wrap everybody.
Thank you, make them pay. Yeah, that's what they saying. It was reps and Achilles. Nah, I mean, you just gotta be smart as a coach. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's going to do that going forward that much, but you do gotta be smart as a coach and not let your own ego and your desire to win get in the way of you possibly hindering somebody's future prospects of playing the NFL. Once you get hurt, a lot of times you become damaged goods. Unless you really, 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 really good, you become damaged goods. So
they was hating on Deion. They were trying to get the boy Travis Hunter away from Deion. They offered him $1.5 million, a booster, just so he wouldn't play with Deion to Colorado. That's how much they hate Deion. Yeah.
That's why
Nice
I
too.
root for
He
Deion.
nice too.
That's why I root for Deion from all those ones, those haters and all that like that. Like,
Yeah, Deion got the whole hood on his back. Most people waiting for Deion. If you ain't rooting for Deion in some type of capacity, you a little bit of a hater and you're not black. Remember, with the boy say the president. Then he said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. If you hating on Deion,
That's Biden.
yeah, Biden. If you not right with Deion, you ain't black.
they should
Simple as
have
that. Deion got the whole hood on his back right now. He trying to make history.
He did say he thanked the hood too, but we're gonna be out. We're about to blow this thing out. We'll see y'all Thursday. We'll see y'all in a few days. We'll be right back after Thursday's night game against the Vikings. Before we get out of here, shout out to Coco Gauff. She won her first major U.S. Open last night in New York City. So
she got past the one in Karen. Ain't that the one that had to put the ump in check?
Yeah,
this was another.
You talking about the tennis girl, right? You talking about the young girl, the tennis player?
Yeah.
You sure? You sure it ain't her?
No, she eliminated her in the first round, but this was the final.
No. But I'm saying that's the same one that went.
Oh yeah, I was saying Coco. Yeah, you talking about Coco?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. But thanks for don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We're gonna catch y'all on our next podcast. We see y'all Thursday. We are out.